Today, we're going to talk about the 7 mistakes you've got to avoid when doing your NMC registration. So, if you're a nurse or midwife willing to register with the UK NMC, then I believe that this video will go a long way to help you. Among the 7 mistakes I'm going to talk about, if there's one of them I would want you to keenly avoid, then it's the number one. So, just watch this video to the very end because it stands the chance of delaying your NMC application. So, just take notice of that. If today is your first time here, my name is Esther. I'm a nurse by profession and a content creator by passion. I make videos about nursing, about lifestyle, about content creation, and everything I believe adds value to your life. So if today is your first time here, I really appreciate you for being here, and I believe that this video serves you well. And don't forget, I believe that you have not subscribed to my channel yet, so hit the subscribe button and become part of the family so that anytime I upload a new video, you'll be the very first person to get to watch. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into it. Okay, I'll start by saying that I have helped a couple of people to do their NMC registration. And throughout all these processes, I've come to realize that there are about 7 mistakes people do make when doing their NMC application, and that eventually makes the application much more delayed, and that at the point they don't even hear from the UK NMC. So I felt like, why don't I make this video to teach people or to open your eyes to some of these things that you need to avoid to ensure that the application goes through successfully. So I'm going to start from the very 7th one through to the last one, which I believe probably everyone should avoid. Number 7, I would say don't create an NMC online account too quick. What do I mean by this? I believe that you're an international nurse or midwife and you have the desire to work as a nurse or midwife in the UK. So mostly the advice you get out there is that start creating an NMC online account and then possibly go along with it. But the reason why I'm saying don't create an NMC online account too quick is that I want you to bear in mind the NMC application lasts for 2 years. What this means is that after 2 years, if you've not done the necessary stuff, your NMC application will close and you have to start all over again. And the 2 years starts the very first day you create an NMC online account. So what I want to say is that ensure that before you create an NMC online account, the necessary requirements you need have been set aside. You don't have to get all the requirements, but there are some requirements that may take a longer period for you to get. Probably as a nurse or midwife in Ghana, you've got to ensure that you undergo your MOH clearance. Now, this process takes approximately 6 months. Okay, so you have to ensure that before you start creating an NMC online account, you've gone through halfway in this process. Don't just jump onto creating an NMC online account when you have not even started your MOH clearance, because this can delay your time. Then remember, you've got to write IELTS, you've got to do a couple of things, police clearance, you've got to, depending on whichever way you are trying to prove English language proficiency, you've got to reach out to your school to get the necessary documents. So if you don't calculate and ensure that all these things are within check, you may end up not finishing your application on time. That can go a long way to affect you. So what I normally say is that before you create an NMC online account, ensure that at least you know how you're going to get your English language proof done. You know that you've done your MOH clearance. So if you are from any other country, just get to know, what you've got to do to allow your home country's NMC to liaise with the UK NMC to give you the go ahead to practice nursing in the UK. Number 6, don't create a new NMC online account. What do I mean by this? You see, I've got a couple of people reach out to me to say that they haven't heard from the UK NMC. And if you interrogate them, what they say is that probably they felt that they've made a mistake somewhere in the application, so they had to create a new account. Now, what I'm trying to say is that you've got to avoid duplicate NMC online account because the UK NMC will be able to see that. You see, it may happen that you have chosen the wrong field of nursing or you have chosen the wrong route. So I have this friend who, instead of choosing adult nursing, chose nursing associate, and she could just realize this halfway through her application. Now, in this case, you don't have to create a new account. All you've got to do is to either call the UK NMC for them to cancel your account for you, or you can do that on the NMC account you've created. Okay, you can cancel your application and then you've got to start all over again. So what I'm trying to say is that the fact that you have made a mistake on your NMC application doesn't mean that you should just dump the first one you are doing and then create a new account. That may serve to the UK NMC as a duplicate account, and this can delay your application process. And here the UK NMC won't call you to say you have a duplicate account. No, what you can see is that probably you may not be hearing from your UK NMC. For you have done your application for so long a time and then you haven't heard from them. Your NMC portal is still where it is. So that is an indication that you might have created a duplicate account. Okay, so number 5, it's very important. Don't escape all summaries. What do I mean by this? You see, the UK NMC application comes in sessions, and after every session, you will see a summary of whatever information you have entered on the website. So you've got to either go through to see if there's any mistake, and if there is, you have an option to edit it. Now the question is, why would someone choose nursing associate instead of adult nursing and not get to know it until she's midway through? It's just because this person never had the time to read the summaries. So let's say the country of residence or your nationality, you choose a different country altogether. But when you go through the summaries, the UK NMC will show you all that you've entered. So let's say instead of choosing Ghana, you choose Nigeria. So there's an option for you to edit that before you move on to the next session. So understand that when you move on to the next session, you can't come back to the previous session. So always make sure that you are checking your summaries, the summaries you are given before you click on next. Number 4, don't create complex pathways. I know you wouldn't want people to dive into your UK NMC application or go on your portal to see what's happening. So eventually you may end up creating passwords that are too complex that you yourself you can't even remember. It didn't happen to me. So what I want to say is that at the point you'll be asked to create a password associated with your email, and then this password will help you to log into your NMC portal to see what is happening, to be able to track your application. If it happens that you have to create, your password is complex or you've got to create something like that, then my advice to you is that you can write it in your diary, because you've got to ensure that once you do your NMC application, you are logging into your portal to see what is happening as to whether your application or your fee has been tagged or your CBT has been, all those stuff, just to see what is happening. So my advice to you is don't be like me by creating a complex password with the thought that it can be hacked. Now you're getting closer to the most important parts of the mistakes I want you to avoid. But before that, if at this point you are enjoying the video, I believe that there is someone else there who also wants to enjoy this video as well. So my play is to share this video, my play is to like and then subscribe to this channel so that you become part of the family, so we can learn together. Now let's move on to number 3. Don't be suffering alone. What do I mean by this? You see, I've quite a couple of people reach out to me to say they are still struggling with their NMC, registration. And I say, have you got someone to help you? And then they are like, no. You see, there are people out there who have gone through this process who can help you. And I must say that I don't have to suffer alone. Now, you may be thinking, do I have to share my password with this person? Do I have to share my email with this person to be able to log into my account to see what's happening? No. There's a section on the portal where you can share a third party's detail to the UK NMC to say, this person is helping me to do my application. Okay, so it's like this person is known to the UK NMC. So if you are struggling, you've got to look out for someone who can help you with your NMC application, and probably you can utilize that session. So let's look at how to go through that session. I thought about it in this video. One important thing is that you can also share your application status to a third party. Probably you can click on the more info to access that. So you see, you can share your application status with a third party who can help you go through this process successfully. And I have helped a couple of people do this. Number 2, we are getting there. You see, don't use a different name arrangement on the UK NMC's website as against what is on your passport. The UK NMC would want you to upload your passport for them to identify your it's much more of an identity check, okay, just to confirm you are the right person. For most people, the name on their passports is different from how they normally enter or how they have on their documents, like their nursing qualification and stuff. So this activity has delayed a lot of people's application, because it's like you leave room for the UK NMC to figure out whether you are the right person or not. So always make sure that you have your name arrangement the same as how it is on your passport. For example, on my passport, I have my given names as Seth Darko and my last name as Ajimai. So if, let's say, in the course of the application, I choose to use Seth as my given name, and ignore the dark one, it means that there's an inconsistency somewhere. The UK NMC may flag this up, and that can go a long way to affect my application. So ensure that you have all your names consistent. And then number one, this I'm saying that if you don't take action, your NMC application will delay, and that will be no fault of the UK NMC. How am I saying this? Now, you see, don't relax, be on your regulator. Don't relax, be on your regulator. When you make your application and you make the payment of the £140, which is not refundable, the UK NMC will give you these codes and you've got to follow it. So listen to this. I made a video about it and I want you to listen keenly and understand what I'm trying to say. Once the UK NMC receives your eligibility fee, you get an information that says that thank you for your application and payment. We've sent an email to your nominated regulator asking them to confirm your registration eligibility. We won't review your application until we've received a response. It's your responsibility to contact them and then make sure that they are able to reply to us. Your tracker will show when they have responded. So you see, the UK NMC will tell you to reach out to your home country's NMC or regulator to remind them that this is what's happening. You've paid your verification fee to the UK NMC and they want you to check up on them to see what's happening. So the home country NMC has to reach back to the UK NMC to say this nurse is part of our register and is working as a nurse or a midwife or whatsoever. You've got to be on them, okay, to work on your application alongside the UK NMC. So these are the 7 mistakes I would want you to avoid. I know a few of them that it affects my colleagues. So what I want to say is that if these have been very helpful, I believe that there are others out there who are willing to have it as well. So don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and then don't forget to leave all your questions in the comment box so that probably I give answers to them. Thank you very much for being with me up to this point. I believe that you've enjoyed and learned a lot from this video. Now, before I take leave of you, if you are struggling with IELTS reading, there's a complete course on that. I'll leave the link in the description box. Just check it out. It's very detailed, practical, and I believe that when you jump onto this course, it will go a long way to help you. Check in the description box for all the details and hope to meet you in my next video. Bye.